according to the officer who responded to a 911 call. He slid into a pair of battered jeans that he'd tossed over the foot of the bed, then found a clean t-shirt in the closet and pulled it over his head. Why would anyone kill a nun? She scraped her hair back from her face, but wild curls sprang loose. Don't know, but I'll figure it out. He flashed his wife a humorless grin and thought back to another time when a nun had been killed, that one being his own aunt. That's why they pay me the big bucks. Yeah, right. She didn't smile as she tugged at her hair. Just be careful. Always am. He started for the door. Hey, aren't you forgetting something? She asked, angling her chin toward him, practically begging for a kiss. Oh, yeah. He walked to the closet, found the locked box holding his sidearm, and retrieved his weapon. After strapping on his shoulder holster, he slid his arms through his leather jacket and started for the door. You can be a miserable SOB when you want to be, she charged. I always want to be. I know. But her eyes twinkled, and the reddish-blonde curls that framed her face were sexy as hell. You're a father now, so don't take any unnecessary risks, okay? I want Benjamin to know his daddy. He snapped his Glock into place, then crossed the room and pushed her back onto the mattress. So do I. He stretched his body over hers and kissed her hard, his tongue probing her mouth, his hand splayed wide across her backside. Wait for me, he whispered against her ear. Not on your life, detective, she said, but there was a smile in her voice, and he had to keep his thoughts on the coming investigation to control the tightness in his groin and the rock-hard response she always elicited from him. One interested arch of her eyebrows could cause a reaction deep inside of him. Man, did he have it bad. Pussy whipped, his brother Cruz had commented on more than one occasion. In this case, Cruz was right. I'll be back as soon as I can. Be ready. Oh, God, save it, Montoya, she countered, and cocooned herself in the blankets again, covering her auburn curls with a pillow. And whatever you do, don't wake Benjamin, okay? Otherwise, I'll have to kill you. Again, her voice was muffled, but he got the message. He had no intention of waking their 3-month-old son. Smiling as he left the room, Montoya nearly tripped over Hershey, their big lug of a chocolate lab who, always on guard near the bedroom door, scrambled to his big paws and stood, blocking the hallway, his tail thumping against an antique sideboard. As ever, Hershey was ready for anything, especially to take Montoya's place in the bed. Forget it, okay? She needs her beauty sleep. I heard that, she said through the open door. Hershey took her voice as an open invitation and galloped into the bedroom. A small dark shadow, the skittish cat Ansel, leaped from the sideboard and followed the dog inside. Great. Montoya was struggling with his shoes. He didn't have time to call the dog back and figured Abby could deal with the animals. With bluish night lights as his guide, he headed through his long shotgun-style home, passing through the kitchen and living room to reach the front door. The night was muggy, thick. The smell of the sluggish Mississippi hung heavy in the air. Rain was falling hard, running in the street as he jogged across his soggy yard to the driveway and slid onto the familiar leather seat of his Mustang. He closed the door, jammed his key into the ignition, and the engine roared to life. Wondering what the hell had gone down at the conservative church, he hit the wipers, then gunned the engine. No siren. No lights, just the windshield wipers slapping away the rain as the car's radio played and the familiar voice of Dr. Sam, a late-night psychologist, wafted through the speakers. Frowning, he drove the familiar streets and recalled another case in which the host, Samantha Walker, was the intended victim. Fortunately, Dr. Sam was still around to help the people who called into her show. Traffic was sparse as he rolled through the wet, muggy night. Montoya arrived at St. Marguerite's to find squad cars, lights flashing, parked at angles on the street. A fire truck dominated the circular drive, with an emergency unit idling under one of the massive live oaks surrounding the building.